Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start getting this going. We're spawning on top of Empire.Kas. He's going to be the red Terran in the top right, going up against WhiteRa, the blue Protoss in the top left. We are playing on Entombed Valley, and hopefully the spectators will respect the no chat. But this is going to be awesome. We're in game number 2 of this best of 7 show match between two of the best players in the world. We've got WhiteRa and Kas. This is going to be so cool. The last game was a nice half-hour long game. I'm trying to make sure the mic's not in the way of anything. But yeah, so last game was a really interesting game. WhiteRa had a completely unique one-gate expand that I was not expecting at all. Skipping the cybernetics core, getting down the initial gateway, and Kas ended up completely out-macroing him by getting a hidden base 6 minutes into the game, into the bottom middle of Shakura's Plateau. And it really paid off. He was able to stay alive in the early game and then just compound his economic advantage later on. Even with WhiteRa harassing, it was just never enough to get WhiteRa that economic lead that he really would have been more comfortable with. So right now we're watching. No gas is down yet for Kas. He might be going for a gasless expand once again. So now WhiteRa is pushing forward. He still has the gateway there. He's not. Oh, of course, he's going to get the lack of gas and go for that once again unique expansion. But unfortunately for WhiteRa, these guys are close positions, the closest we can get on this map, and that would be a little bit rough if Kas is going to do something weird. You can see he has gotten the gas this time around. If he went for a Reaper expansion, he could really take advantage of this map. But right now, Kas is taking a lot of damage. WhiteRa might get the kill on that. WhiteRa gets a probe kill. Oh, WhiteRa got the probe kill, and Kas is just giving happy faces in response. Nice job, WhiteRa. Smiley face. I have no idea what that means, but I'm assuming that's micro. Okay. So now we do have cybernetics core going down for WhiteRa. Looks like he's seeing the gas, going to make him not do that unique one-gate expand. The 2 racks is now out. We might be seeing a reactor, possibly. Yep, there's the reactor. Kas is seeming like he's going to be going for the Tech Lab reactor 2 racks push. That is so strong that Terrans can do. Getting Marauders, concussive shells, and then reactored Marines to attack a toss doing some kind of one-gate expand. However, WhiteRa is getting out his second assimilator, and Zealot's coming out next. Probably going to get the Stalker and the Warp Gate next. So if he is going to do that, he might be able to get a few more units. If he's going to 3-gate expand, he should be fine. But we got to see whether or not Kas is going to be really pushing with this. This barracks is about to complete. So now the Tech Lab, will the Tech Lab go down? Yes, there it is. Tech Lab immediately goes down. So Kas is going to be aggressive with this expansion play. It's not all in at all. He'll be able to get out his command center fairly soon. And WhiteRa going for a second gate after the initial first gate. There's the third gate. So it looks like we will be having some kind of 3-gateway play. Whether he's going to go for the Robo or an expansion remains to be seen. Theoretically, he could go for a Stargate, but usually that's a little bit sooner, depending on if you want Void Rays or Phoenixes. There we have a second supply depot, going to allow for one more supply depot to finish off that wall. We could easily see, let's see. Alright, so now Survey is gone. So now there's the, or Saravati, however you pronounce his name. There's the sentry going up. We do have, yep, there's the Marauders being produced. The concussive shells is almost done. Marines are being produced. And look at the timing on just putting in those second Marines into the reactor. Just perfect macro coming out of Kas in terms of his ability to produce successfully. So the sentry is out. We will have one force field or guardian shield by the time these units come forward. There is the expansion going down, so WhiteRa is definitely playing it safe with getting the initial 3 gates to go for defense. Warp Gate is now done. He'll be able to get out these next 2 units and then get out a warp-in round from these guys as well, really increasing his efficiency in terms of the units that he can produce at once. And now here's the attack going down. Bunker is down. The Marauders really helping add in the DPS. There we have the units coming in. We have this one Zealot coming in. There's the 2 other gateways being called into warp gates. And we can see that this bunker is going to be targeted down in a second. But there's a lot of units streaming in for Kas. WhiteRa is looking a little bit worse for wear. He needs to get another round of warpments in order to defend. But right now we can see Kas doing a nice bit of damage. 2 Marauders and 5 Marines left against these 4 units from WhiteRa. Now he's up to 5. But he's got to be careful with the Stalker count. There is an equal count of Marauders to Stalkers. Here we have another Zealot coming in, and oh no, this is looking bad for WhiteRa. Guardian Shield is now up. We're going to see a kiting happening. This Zealot is going to fall without being able to do any damage. WhiteRa is, oh, he is getting hit hard. No more SCV to finish the bunker. This is a lot of threat. You can see Kas has gotten up his expansion in the midst of all this. Now we're going to watch those sentries get targeted down. Unless Kas is going to try and just take out the Zealot. This is a really tight hold by WhiteRa, pushing in. Now he's got more Zealots coming in. We have this SCV going to try and finish the bunker. That's going to get targeted down, but it's going to allow the Marauders to continue pushing in and taking out a few more units. We see Kas is slowly taking a little bit of a lead, but you see WhiteRa is barely defending. This Marauder is so close to dying. There it falls. These Zealots are going to be able to, this Zealot's going to be able to hit the 2 Marines in the front, but Kas is retreating, and it seems that WhiteRa has successfully held. Still, this expansion is up that was just now cancelled, and at the end of the day, 31 probes to 24 SCVs. WhiteRa is not taking as much damage as he could have. That was a close hold, but he does hold, and he ends up being able to hold with a nice count of SCVs ahead of Kas, and that's going to be a big factor in the following up to this mid game. We're going to have third racks being built, as well as a factory and a second refinery out of Kas. WhiteRa, no second set of gases for him. Is actually, never mind, going to make me a liar and get that third assimilator out. Still, Robo is now being produced, so actually, it looks like we're going to see a little bit of pushing over here. Possibly getting a third base back here for WhiteRa fairly soon. Kas is going to be able to push in once again. He has Stim now. No combat shield. That's only a quarter of the way done. But WhiteRa needs to look in here, see this. He might take some free shots from Kas. There we see the nice forces going down. But Kas could just retreat through that hole. He's doing damage. Not very many Zealots are really in play right now. They're going to have more units coming in, but there's enough Marauders to really be scary. You can pick off a lot of those units. One Zealot is so close to dying. Literally one single health point left. WhiteRa still has more Stalkers coming in. He has nothing besides the 3 gates and 1 Robo for production. He is, however, getting his armor upgrade, and Kas is retreating. He's right now working on taking out these rocks of his own. So third bases are probably going to be happening fairly soon. We see the reactor in the factory being made. And the starport's going to get out a single medevac. Probably going to switch after those get completed, but it seems like Kas may not have had the gas or the minerals to get out the reactor the second he was building out his starport in order to get that initial influx of medevacs streaming in without too much difficulty there. Still no, actually Kas has 4 guys in his refinery. That's kind of funny to see. But no second gas at his natural. WhiteRa has taken his. It just now completes. The gas tech is pretty even for both players. Twilight Council is going to allow for charge. WhiteRa has enough gas for it. He'll be getting that probably in a second. He's got enough minerals, but he's going to choose to actually spend it on actually getting a, where is it? I see in the production tab, there's a DT Shrine. There we go. DT Shrine, fast Dark Templar. We could be seeing Dark Templar harass into Charge Lot Archon from WhiteRa, even though that didn't exactly benefit him the most in the last game. Still, drop is going to be coming up around the top. A lot of Marines are in here. They're going to be able to go ahead, drop in here, and take out a ton of probes. There we go. Stimming in initially, one by one, to take out probes, and oh, that is bad. WhiteRa is going to... he just lost a lot of probes. He's now down to 46 probes, 45 probes. Few of those Zealots are getting targeted down. This DT Shrine, though, is not done yet. Factories are going across the map to scout, and this Nexus is looking a bit vulnerable. Those Zealots are going to die really quickly. We're going to see Stalkers getting picked off one by one. Never mind. So Kas is going to retreat, and if he clicks on this, that'll be really key. If you look for a red circle around that, it seems like he hasn't clicked on it. He might assume it's a DT Shrine based on the build pace of it, and seeing that's most likely not a pylon, because a pylon would have finished while he was there, he might be able to assume it's a DT Shrine. Will he have missile turrets out in the front? There's an observer moving out over here. There's an engineering barrier actually. Getting a Ghost Academy as well. Third base from WhiteRa down here, getting hit a little bit, but will it get targeted down? Might force the cancel. No, those units will die. Still, the Nexus does end up taking a little bit of hull damage. We see a scan that's going to probably, I think that was a DT that just got hit. So WhiteRa, no harassment for you in that respect. One DT is on the map, and it's included in this Warp Prism. WhiteRa's going to try and do more damage. Charge is 20 seconds from being done. The DT attacks and notifies Kas the fact that the DT is present. Here we have Zealous zealots moving in. Another DT is going to be coming in. Whistle turrets being built inside the main, and WhiteRa is targeting down army instead of, there we go. Now it's going to get scanned, and WhiteRa has missed a lot of opportunity to deal damage to the economy of Kas. He's dealt a little bit, killed almost as many, or killed actually slightly, yeah, almost as many SCVs as Kas has killed probes. So a good harassment, but he could have killed another 3 or 4 SCVs with that DT that was attacking the army instead of those SCVs. Mobius Reactor, I think it's Mobius Reactor. And it is Mobius Reactor, is getting researched, so the Ghosts will have enough for an EMP directly upon their completion. See this Nexus here, a little bit hurting, but it's hurt a little bit, but not too badly. Kas can easily push in with the factory and try and scout for what WhiteRa is doing. No blink. We have the Robo down, but no Robo Bay. Kas is looking pretty solid. We see more harassment happening with these Zealots. With charge, they're going to be moving in and doing a lot of damage to someone's SCV. One goes down, and a couple more are going to be falling very quickly. We have units coming in for Kas to defend. WhiteRa not targeting down the SCVs. We'll just lose those Zealots for free, but good. It's always good to deal damage. Now WhiteRa's killed 16 workers. 44 SCVs now left to 55 probes. WhiteRa is rallied all his next side to the main base, or is he once again rallying to a building? He's rallied to his forge this game. It's not rallied to a gateway, it's rallied to a forge. That's unfortunate. WhiteRa now has this just one probe that's idle, just all gateways. He's not getting any kind of Colossi tech at all, which is very weird. I mean, Kas is getting out this Viking in order to counter Colossi, but WhiteRa is going to see that, and the army's going to be pushing forward up to the top. Although WhiteRa doesn't have that many units, Kas has a superior army supply, as you can see, and it goes down in the worker supply. He's ahead in overall supply, and that's going to be a little bit rough. We see WhiteRa, his army is separated. His army is separated. That's really big. Kas can be able to move in, deal damage. Might be able to snipe the natural nexus if he wants to. He's taking out those pylons. WhiteRa is now supply blocked. This Viking serving a scout, and this nexus is getting targeted down, stimming on all those units. But it's not getting targeted down anymore. WhiteRa may not have enough units though, as he's kind of getting rolled over right now, and GG gets called. Now Kas is up 2-0. Crazy turn of events, especially with WhiteRa 4-0ing Kas yesterday. So we're going to go on to game number 3 in a second, and this is going to be quite the game.